Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about the other video link that Mr. Wes Renfro sent me. And it is about the Shark Tank knife attack competition. Six martial arts YouTuber guys are competing against one another in a confined situation to see how long they could survive. Wait, it was 20 seconds against the guy who has a knife. And yeah, so I feel like this video, you can learn a lot of good things from it. And the first thing I think to learn is that, you know, when the other guy has a knife in a real life situation, it's going to be ugly. And I know this is like, well, yeah, we all know that, and everyone's been saying that, but like, it really is a bad situation. And I'm not even sure this video really shows that because, you know, they're all competing with each other. It's treated like a sport, like a game. So I don't think you really understand how bad it is. Yeah. If they were to use like simulated fake blood or something, then I think you'll get the idea. But since they didn't, it yeah, I don't know how much people can understand how deadly it is. But they were rewarding people for, you come at me with a knife, and if I'm able to land a significant enough strike, then I win. I get points for that. And that to me kind of, I think, gives the wrong impression. I feel like some people may watch this video and they go, well, you know what? If I train in MMA, the sport, the combat sport of MMA, and I become as good as I possibly can at it, then in a real life situation where the guy has a knife, I just fight the guy as hard as I can, then that's my best answer. I feel like it gives that as a solution. Like, people think that maybe that's what to do. And I cannot agree with that. I feel like if you watch this video closely, it should give you the opposite answer. That is not the way to go. And it's so weird because, like, in my training, I remember a time where I got my buddy in a knee bar. He had a knife, and I put him in a knee bar, and he tapped out, and he goes, "Hey, good job, man, you got me." And I remember thinking, wait, didn't you stab me twice before I got the knee bar? So then who got who? I would have been dead. Like, let's say I cranked the knee bar all the way and I, destroyed your tendons and ligaments in your knee, right? But you stabbed me in the thigh twice, deep. After I finish the knee bar and you're in pain, I get up and then I might pass out and die. So who really won that? But it's so weird. Our brains are conditioned to focus on the KO, the KO shot or the submission finish. And we're not really focusing on the quick slash that you barely see, but that was the fatal shot. So it's kind of weird how that goes, But anyway, I feel like in this kind of situation, it tells you that this is a confined space and the guy who has a knife is charging at you. This is a very difficult situation. So that's why, I don't really like to deal with this. If someone said, like, what if you're in that situation, what do you do? And honestly, the first thing that I feel like you should do is surrender. And that is not to give my life to them and say, hey, I give up, you win, and put everything in their hands. No, it's to surrender in order to say, you got me here. You're in the advantageous position, and I'm trying to make them stop their attack. There is no need for you to attack because I surrender. I'm trying to take away that charge because that's what's devastating here, because they're coming at me in such a confined space. So that's what I'm trying to do, is stop that charge, stop their attack, and say, hey, once that has stopped, now I have a chance to do stuff. But if the guy keeps coming, it's what you see in this video. It's ugly, it's nasty, it's brutal. Your survival rate is very small. That's the reality. So what I teach, they go, do you teach knife defense? Yes, I teach knife defense. What do you teach? I teach long range. I don't teach this. Why? Because your survival rate is this small. Even if you're successful, it's this small. So why focus on that? Why am I focusing on something? It would be like telling you guys, if a nuke falls, hide under your desk or something like that. Why focus on that? Let's do that now. Let's do 100 reps of that. Why? I'd rather focus on something more that I have a much higher success rate. So that's why I teach the defense bag, because with this in long range, we're in an open space. The guy's coming at me with a knife, and and I'm out of there. I disengage. These guys cannot disengage because it's too small. It's smaller than the octagon. It's smaller than a ring. So they cannot just disengage. They'll get caught up. So they can't do that, But that's what I teach, because in long range, you have a chance. And using something like this, you definitely have a chance. I've practiced it many, 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 many times. I can't say that I've done it in real life, but I've practiced it, simulated it many, many hours. So with a much, much better success than something like that. So that's why I teach that. So, okay, yeah, Wmpyr, whatever, I get you, I hear you. Okay, but what would you do? Well, I told you, number one is I would surrender to try to get them to stop. But let's say they don't stop, right? They're still charging at me. So keep in mind, this is a bad situation, right? So what I normally teach is when they stop, and now, because I've surrendered, they're going to bring the knife right up to me. So that's the second situation, which is close range, where I can grab. It's grabbable. The knife is grabbable now because they're literally right here. They're going to be right in front of me. So that, to me, is a more doable situation than what these guys are doing. What these guys are doing, this shark tank, is a much harder situation. So you have to identify. If you don't know that, then, if all this is the same to you, then, you need to understand where you have your best odds. It's like if you're going to go to Las Vegas, you want to know which table you have the best chance at. So I'm telling you, long range with the defense bag is your number one. You have the best survival rate. Number two is close range, when the knife is right here, or whatever, but you're in close range and it's not moving. They're not attacking you. It's a hold-up position. That's number two, okay? But between long range and close range, the long range has a way, way better chance. I mean, that's logical, right? Because right here, hopefully I'll do the move or whatever, but it could still fail. Whereas in the long range, if the move fails, I got my finger cut? I'd rather take that than get cut here. So obviously, long range is better. Okay, but that's super important to realize. And then I teach this, and then I tell my students, okay, now we're going to do some light sparring, and guess what? They go right into close range. And I'm like, you guys pay attention? Or they go right into medium range, which is what these guys are doing. So look, This is the worst. What they're doing here is the worst. Understand that. And so in this situation, I surrendered. They're having none of it, and they're coming at me. So at that point, the next thing is I need to cover up, because all it takes is here. We're here, they stab me, and I could be done. So I need to cover up. Okay, I need to cover up. And so I'm not going to be opened up like this and say, hey, pick your shot. No, I'm covering up. And then from there, as they're charging in at me, I'm gonna use this to intercept that first move. I'm gonna do my best to intercept that. If I have something like this, yeah, I'll use this. It's even better than using my own arms. It's obviously safer to use this, but I will intercept it. And here's the thing, I am not blocking it, because if I'm the guy with the knife and this gets blocked, I'm just changing it, right? I'm just changing, and that's what you see in the videos. You don't have to be super skilled to change it. They just, okay, they repeatedly, okay, then I'll go here, I'll go here, I'll go, they'll work around it, right? It doesn't take massive amounts of skill to do that. So that is not what I want to do. What I want to do is, when this comes in, I want to do this, and I want to press this against them so it can't move now. Think of this as a snake, right? You're covering it up, and with your foot, you're on top of it. You're standing on top of it, so it can't move. That's what you want. So that's the idea. Is I'm gonna. So this is not force-to-force block now. This, what I'm doing here is I'm what I call clashing. So whether with this, or in worst case scenario, they're empty hands, so they're even worse. With the forearms, I am clashing, and I'm pinning it. I'm pinning it down against their body, or the wall, or the ground, whatever. I want to pin it against something so it doesn't move. It's a snake. I don't want it to move. You've heard defang the snake. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't want the snake to move around, because it could repeatedly bite me. So I'm pinning it. That's what you've got to do. You have to control the snake. And I'm seeing a lot of guys go, well, they're controlling the body, but they're not controlling the snake, and so they're getting stabbed like crazy. Because they're grapplers, or they're familiar with MMA, they're fighters, so they know how to control the human body, but they're not controlling the arm. Why don't they control the arm in MMA? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You control the arm and go into, you can't go into an arm bar from the clinch. The closest one is a standing Kimura lock, but that ends up on the ground. That's the only one I've seen. I've never seen anything else in the hundreds and hundreds of MMA fights. Why? I've seen throws where they grab the arm, they catch it, and they throw the guy. I've seen that, like judo throws. I've seen it. But, I haven't seen standing arm locks in any MMA fight. Why? Because it's not possible. It's not possible. So you can't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So to this day, I see people, knife defense people, teaching that kind of thing, catch the hand and then go into some kind of arm lock or something. In my Filipino martial arts, I was taught lock flow, and you have to modify it. And the modification I made is called wrenching. So you can wrench it like crazy. Wrenching is possible. Squeezing the arm and submitting the guy, not possible. Like I said, I've never, show me a MMA match, show me a full contact fight where that happens. I've never seen it. But wrenching is totally possible. And I could even tell you, without the guy really understanding wrenching, that it's happened, where the guy's arm got snapped. in the clinch, standing. Yeah. So wrenching can happen, and I use it. I use it all the time in practice. So wrenching is something that I don't see these guys doing. First of all, in MMA, it's illegal. But wrenching to me is a big, big key component. I mean, these guys, you see in this video, when they go to the ground, and these guys that are MMA trained, when they get a submission lock, they're amazing at it. Amazing at it, you know. But if you're getting repeatedly stabbed in the process before you get that, it's what's the use there? So it's basically pointless. Like I said, it happened to me where I got the knee bar. Great. I did exactly pretty much what these guys did. You know, we ended up on the ground and boom, I got the knee bar. But guess what? I got stabbed twice in the leg. That could have been fatal. Deep stabs. So that's not kosher. That's not cool. You know. The last guy in this video I saw, at one point he did get what I call an arm wrap. It's what I teach in the Fiend method. So he got an arm wrap, and is unfortunate because and this is what I've been telling you guys, if you go for the arm wrap, like you just go to wrap the person, you just go to clinch the guy, without grabbing their wrist first, you will get killed. And so he got 2 fatal stabs, 2 points deducted or whatever. It was like 2 X marks or whatever. He got it, right? So it's like, you know, it's pretty much what I've been telling you guys. So you can't just do that. MMA guys, I've been there myself. I didn't want to grab the wrist. I didn't want to do this kind of stuff. I just wanted to go right away into the clinch. You will die that way. And that's what happened to me. So when I saw it here, it was no surprise. Lots of guys got those big old X's or whatever. Anyway, so you what I was talking about pinning the snake's head, you have to do that. You have to. And the question becomes, how much damage are you going to take until you're able to pin the snake's head? So how much of that can you minimize until you pin the snake's head? So either way, you have to pin the snake's head. If not, you need to have higher firepower than this opponent. So you have to be able to knock them out. You have to be able to submit them lightning quick. You know, you need those kinds of things. But even then, to me, it's still the risk is too high. So I don't like that. I think it's more intelligent to play safe and control the snake head. you want to control the snake head. Once you're able to, and I admit that would be extremely difficult. But if you do MMA, you do any kind of striking art or even fencing, you'll have a better timing than most people. So you have to see that timing and go, now's my time to clash in. So once you clash in, you pin the arm, control the snake head, and then from there get the arm wrap. So anyway, this last guy, he got the arm wrap. So his entry was wrong. Not wrong. That sounds like I got all the answers and I'm high and mighty, so I apologize. What I meant was he could have done it better to increase his survival rate. So anyway, but he did get the arm wrap, which is an overhook. And so once you get that overhook, he was safe. The problem was the guy who got his arm controlled. Now the arm is controlled. He did what it's doesn't take a brain to do this. He just passed it to the free hand, and that's where the other guy, the defender, got murderlated, right? So also in my practice that I've done, my simulations that I've done with my students and stuff, I could tell you that passing the knife is the biggest killer. So once you finally get control, so this guy has a knife in this hand, right here, he has a knife, and you got it and you pin it to the ground and it's not moving and it's controlled and he passes it, that's the biggest killer. So you cannot let him pass it, no matter what. So use your whole back, block it. Don't let that other arm come over. So you got this controlled here. Just everything you can. Do not let him pass, because the moment it passes, that arm is not controlled. So that arm is going to be free to stab and cut you all over the place. So that is, you have to remember, the moment you get the control, that is, passing of the knife is the biggest killer, right? What I would have done, so the moment the guy got the wrap, he should have started wrenching, in my opinion. And if he started wrenching, that would have been amazing, I think. And I think he would have had amazing results with that. You just keep wrenching. And then if you go to the finger lock, which is also a wrench, you can disarm the guy. And maybe we would have seen like a first proper disarm in this competition. And that would have been amazing too. So anyway, yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.